I'm Trevor with Recon Power Bikes, the head of service here, and I'm going to show you today how to take off your front wheel off of your Hummer EV. Let's show you the tools that you're going to need to take off the front wheel. You're going to need a 19mm open-end wrench and a 3mm hex wrench. Let's get started by detaching your front motor haul cable. Note the position of your front motor haul cable is at the 3 o'clock position. Using your 3mm hex wrench, loosen the cable bolts. Once you have loosened your nuts and bolts, you will place them in a place you will not lose them. Next, you will pull your cable off of the clasps. You will then detach your motor haul cable. Next, using your 19mm open-end wrench, you will loosen the right side and the left side axle nuts. To remove the rest of the wheel from the bike, you will grab up underneath your fork, lift up, and roll the wheel out of the way. Gently set your fork back down on the ground. When reinstalling your wheel, it is important to note that the safety washer needs to be in the downward position. The flat edges of the axle need to be vertical, parallel with the dropout of the fork. To reinstall your wheel, lift the bike just as you remove the wheel and center it right above the axle. To ensure that the wheel is in the dropout, push down on the fork legs to make sure that there is an even amount of the wheel in both dropouts. Once you have ensured that the axle is in place, thread in your axle nuts using your hand on both sides, then follow with your 19mm open-end wrench. Alternate between the two. Next, let's reconnect the motor haul cable. Take note of the direction that the cable is installed. It will be installed on the 3 o'clock position when you're looking down on the fork. Once the cable is at the 3 o'clock position, you will then reinstall your locking bolts. A tech tip that I always look out for as a mechanic is when I'm reinstalling the motor haul cable, I put these clasp rings on both sides of the connection point just to keep this connection secure at all times while riding. And when you take off the bike, or you take off the wheel, just make sure that you reinstall it just like this. Just a little tip just to keep you safe. And that's a video on how to remove and reinstall your front wheel. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call and we'll be able to walk you through any steps in the video.